Mr. Longview looks back.
October 12, 1492.
Saw serpents. Saw sea serpents. We saw sea serpents.
Walter Longview reporting. The date is Friday, October 12th, 1492. More than 2 months have passed since on another Friday, 3 small ships left the port of Palos in Spain and sailed west, embarking upon the most remarkable voyage in history, venturing into the unknown, the uncharted waters of the Atlantic, risking the fabled monsters of the deep, the rings of fire, and the danger of falling off the planet, seeking a liquid highway to the fabulous riches of the East. An extension of trade and the hope of finding gold are the chief objectives of the voyage. We take you now to the deck of the flagship Santa Maria, where Columbus is taking measures with the quadrant. It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and all things are as they were then, except you two are there. Come in, Larry White.
This is Larry White aboard the Santa Maria. It's a soft tropical night. Everything is quiet and peaceful except the crew. For days, the tension has been mounting. A mutiny is in the making. Can we have a statement from you, Senor Columbus?
Well,
We are interrupting this interview with Columbus because we have just succeeded in locating a mass meeting of sea monsters somewhere in the Atlantic. We take you now to this meeting. Come in, George Spelvin. Come in, George Spelvin. Come in, George. George, come in. Sir, one moment, please. Could you give us a line on what this meeting you're having is about? Sir, could you give us a line on what this meeting you're having is about?
Oh, I say, we are really in a terrible spot, old boy. You see, our job is to scare people. Well, if they discover that we don't exist, however are we going to scare them? Huh? Well, no, I've got to go on, old boy. A seat up front, don't want to miss anything. Cheerio, sir.
The voice you have just heard is that of Honorable Alfred Wickup, a delegate at large. This is George Spelvin somewhere in the Atlantic, where at this very moment a host of sea serpents and other imaginary monsters has gathered to discuss the situation created by the voyage of Columbus into the unknown. The next voice you will hear will be that of George L. McKenna, the serpent who has been chosen to preside over the meeting. Mr. McKenna will be better known to some of you as the Loch Ness Monster.
I'm a friend for 2,000 years. Every man with a bit of sense in his head has known that the world is not as flat as a pancake, but as round as a fish egg. They've known it, mind you, but not one has done anything about it. Until now. Oh, we've been lulled into a false sense of security, which has now been shattered by the appearance in our midst of 3 unspeakable and significant tubs. I refer to the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, under the command of the Italian or Portuguese citizenship, now sailing under the Spanish flag, Christopher Columbus. The fact that this deluded character is only 10 or 12,000 miles off his course, that he's mistaken the Atlantic for the Pacific, and is about to mistake the island of Cuba for the coast of Japan, is neither here nor there. The point is, what are we going to do about it?
Fight! We can fight!
Fight!
I'll swallow those 3 tubs in 2 bites.
Quiet.
1 bite.
You're forgetting that you don't really exist.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I'm reminded of a story.
Mr. Chairman, we didn't come here to listen to stories.
Order.
All right, I'll skip the story. In this moment of dire threat to our existence, we're going to have to move on. The Atlantic, I'm afraid, is washed up.
How about the Pacific?
Tomorrow, the Pacific is gonna be washed up.
How about the Arctic?
Goody. Penguins.
In the Antarctic, Duchess.
There's only one safe place. Deep in the minds of men.
The delegate from the Sargasso is absolutely correct. The credulity of most people is boundless. Particularly, they'll believe anything about each other. It's as plain as the nose on yon bonny face that the day of the marine monster is over and done with. The new monsters will be men themselves. Therefore, in the interest of survival, I propose that we become foreigners. By becoming English to the Spanish, Spanish to the English, Armenians to the Turks, and Turks to the Armenians, we can continue in that way of life to which the traditions of our monstrousness impel us. Or, in favor of becoming foreigners, we'll signify. Aye! 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 Against? The motion is carried unanimously. The meeting is adjourned. The meeting is adjourned.
This is George Spelvin. I return you now to Larry White on board the Santa Maria.
A cannon shot's just been heard from the Pinta. A signal for land in sight. Someone is calling.
Land in sight!
Land in sight!
Land in sight! Land in sight!
Land in sight?
Who saw it first?
Rodrigo de Triana, it's me.
Give that man a raise. Full speed ahead. Break the anchor. Raise the mainsail.
Ole me!
Thus, in the resplendent dawn of that Friday morning, Christopher Columbus landed in the Bahamas. He had made one of the great mistakes of history. Without intending to, he had discovered the Western Hemisphere. And what kind of a day was it? A day like all days, filled with those events that alter and illuminate our time. And you, too, were there.